Hi there everyone. I thought I could bring back my old PvP talk series that I started from the times of Dark Souls 2, I believe, and I continued it on Bloodborne a bit, but I haven't done any of these episodes on Dark Souls 3, so I thought this would bring a good balance on my videos when I have just like very long fight clubs, and then I have cinematic PvP and PvP mechanics and stuff like this, but I don't really have this kind of a free-form commentary PvP stuff available, so yeah, this is a perfect series to come back to. So yeah, the way this series works is that I do one short-ish session of PvP invasions, and I include every single match. All the losses, all the successes, everything in between. Except for two exceptions. I cut away the fights where the host either disconnects or runs for the fog door, because no one wants to see those matches. It's just like, blah. Host of Embers have challenged the final battle and so on and so forth. So yeah, those are cut off, but everything else is still on the video. So yeah, I wanted to feature this build that I recently made the cinematic PvP video of. It's my Chaos Serpent build. It's kind of a pyro build, kinda. It's not really good build, I must say. It's really not that good build, but I wanted to feature it a little bit more because some people didn't like the fact that I played without the HUD and didn't feature pyromancy too much. So now I have a little bit more of pyromancy used in this session, and I have the HUD on so you can actually see how much or how little damage I actually deal into my opponents with this build. It's a fucking disaster, really, but it works for the random invasions. Usually random, how can I say this nicely, random people that I made are not that dangerous compared to like prepared duelists, but yeah. That's about that. Here the red invades and thought I was actually the host, so I have to put on the goddamn, or put off my untrue ring. That always freaking happens. They random reds always like come and destroy me when I'm in the middle of a good fight, trying to win with my untrue ring on, and then it's just a fiasco. But yeah, it happens. They don't know who the host is with all these people without the aura, so it's understandable. So yeah, these guys are doing a little bit of ganking over here, and it's fine. They're decent sports in the end. They, well, you see on the later fights a little bit more of their sportsmanship, so to speak. They're not like trying their hardest to just destroy the phantoms. They actually fight the phantoms or invaders one-on-one eventually and such, so it's not that bad. But yeah, here as you can see, I'm using a little bit of that pyro on the pyro build. That's why I'm a little bit unhappy with the cinematic PvP video that I did with this build, because I didn't really use too much pyro on that session when I recorded it, and it kind of bugs me, and I maybe need to do another one with this build utilizing pyro more. I don't ever use it like really much, but usually I use it a little bit more than what was presented on that video, and I'm getting a lot better with my unlocked fireballs and using the fire surge and other supplement spells a little bit here and there. And it's also pretty much a must to get some of the pyro in with this build, because as you can see, I don't deal any damage with my weapons, like no damage at all. Look, that running attack did like 90 or 80 damage or something close to that. Sorry, the image quality for me while I'm previewing this is a little bit low, so I cannot really tell the damage values too well. But anyways, you get the point. It's a very low damage build, and I cannot wait to get my, I don't know, actually, I'm creating a new build right now, but I'm not sure if it's gonna be a strength build or a quality build. And here they got me down, and to rub that salt in, just point down. But yeah, it's so cool. It's so cool. These guys are actually pretty nice, as you can see here on the next invasion. Yeah, they're waiting for more invaders here, and I begin to fight the host. And I think in this part already, Actually, this is not the host that I'm fighting. I'm sorry, it's the Phantom, but I didn't know this at this point because, yeah, untrue ring and all. But here the host just stays in the background and lets me fight the Phantom, which is nice. Like, I don't mind like fighting two people at the same time, but it's always nice to see stuff like this. They're just purely here for the entertainment, and I can dig that, I can respect that. So here I try to be a little bit careful because of that. Look, that was one hit. It was half of my health. One freaking hit. That weapon is so crazy damage. Luckily it's slow, but oh man, it kills me like with 3 hits, I think. Or one combo with weapon art and R1. Here the host actually throws a firebomb at me because the other... oh, it wasn't actually an invader, it's Dark Moon. Which still let me fight. Once again, good sports, these guys. They're pretty nice. Pretty nice after all. And this fight against the blue isn't the best one ever, but it's okay, it's okay. So let's open up a beer in here. By the way, that little flip thing, people keep asking a lot what that is, and I'm surprised how many people don't actually know about the special kick animations of some weapons. Scimitar and rapiers at least have different kick animations, some of them have. Scimitar has this kind of backflip thing, which I personally adore. I freaking love that move, and it's actually useful as well in this game because it has hyper armor. It has hyper armor and it's really good against ganks. Because when there's many people running at you, you can slice a couple of times and then do that. You get a proper distance and get a little bit of spacing in that. It's a really nice little tool that I like personally very much. So yeah, this Dark Moon is out esthing me, so I'm being a little bit patient here. And patience in this episode is probably gonna be a lot. I'm probably going to put it in the title, actually. I'm gonna name it Patience. Patience Prevails or something. If you like that, I don't know. Oh god. But yeah, there's a lot of patient and very long fights in here. As you can see there, like, I was trying to bait him in so hard for the parry and I actually succeeded in the end. Because he was doing stupid things, he was rolling to my side and attacking every time, so it was practically a free parry. But yeah, there are a lot of fights on this session that really show where patience can get you. They're very long fights, very drawn out fights, sometimes even a little bit boring at times, but yeah, it depends on how you look at it. I didn't have boring times when fighting these, but when I watch them after the fight, some of these are not that interesting. But yeah, at least you can see where patience can actually get you, even if you don't deal a lot of damage, if you don't have much health. All of my opponents in this episode are out damaging me, out esthing me, have more HP than I have, so yeah, it's I have to be a little bit more patient with this build. But yeah, there the Phantom actually used the, or has the Cestus on his offhand, and that is kind of a dead giveaway that you're going to try to parry. And I'm always gonna take those means to counter your parrying. I'm gonna use the unparryable attacks, jump attacks, delay my swings, and go for the dead angles. It's rather hard to parry me. I don't get parried often, so yeah. Cestus hasn't parried me even once, actually. No one has parried me with Cestus. So yeah, that's something to put out there. I have been parried, of course, but not with Cestus. Not ever, I think. But yeah, now it's time to challenge the host, who has rather competent build in here. Oh yeah, the random redkins in here, so I'm gonna speed up the footage a little bit. Let them fight it off, because I can respect that the host didn't attack me before when I was fighting the Phantoms, so I just returned the favor here. It's all in good fun. Good entertainment. Okay, now let him buff again. I don't have the dueling charms, unfortunately, so he's gonna deal some disgusting damage if he hits me with that. Luckily, he doesn't really that much. He doesn't get the opportunities. His tactic is very strange. He goes for a lot of parries at first, and goes for a lot of slow walk, and kinda reacts to what I'm doing. So I'm gonna turn it around. I'm trying to bait him into rolling to the side of me and parry that, but he doesn't really go for that, and the fight kind of goes with its own natural flow, kinda. I could chip a little bit of health here and there, land a couple of attacks here and there, and well, here you will see the end result later. And once again, unparryable attack, because I saw he's going to go for the parry anyways. I could have gone for the backstab, but sometimes it's just safer. If you have an unparryable attack or want to go for dead angles, that is usually the more safer way to avoid getting parried and get some damage in as well. Like, of course, when you go for the backstab, you rarely get parried from your backstab attempt. Some players will, but those are good players. Those will unlock and turn around or stuff like that, so... yeah. But here, I was almost getting the host here, but he actually almost makes a comeback here. He takes a little bit of thinking time in there and starts to react to my attacks very much. So here he tries to do the like side rolls when I attack him and try to poke me, and he actually succeeded there. And does it again. And now I saw that he's done it a couple of times, so I think I tried to parry him here soon as well. Yeah, here, but he didn't do the roll attack. He was smart in there. He didn't go for the hasty roll attack. Tried to chip him down with the fire surge. And he has gotten really close to killing me actually. His patience has paid off. Patience, patience. But I got the last poke in there. But these guys were really good sports. I really got a good feeling about that. Got 3 nice fights in a row, one-on-ones. Okay, here I changed the scenery to keep things fresh. I wanted to like get away from the goddamn Archdragon Peak, which I have been spending my time a lot recently. So I wanted to deliberately try out some other places. Here I find a host. I think I invaded him and he was on the bonfire. And once again, that's Cestus. Cestus. Goddamn Cestus. It's so dead giveaway that they're going to parry. And once again, it's a Black Knight Great Axe. That thing hurts like a motherfucker. And I think I actually get hit by this guy a couple of times here. Real soon. Yeah, I tried to kick him and he hyper armors through it. And look at that damage. 2 swings. And that is clearly over 1000 damage with 2 one-handed swings. That combo. That is fucking crazy. I get so jelly of the damage that some of these guys are doing, because like I'm doing, what could I say? At best, my attacks do 200 damage per swing, and that is like on very weak defense opponents. And I think it has to be an L2 or something on my spear or something. So yeah, I'm really not dealing enough damage here. Here he tries to parry him again. I tried to go for a little bit of stabby in there, but didn't pull it off. Kind of bad performance from my part in there. That was kind of free. That was kind of a free opportunity to get one. But here, as you can see, I took those 2 hits to the face in the beginning of the fight, but my patience has led me to come this far. Just a little bit of hits here and there, just chipping that health away, taking my time, being patient with it, and finishing off with the fire surge. And here we see something familiar. There is not only one dude we have to fight, there's two. And here, look at that. I got really freaked out in there. Because I hit the host clearly 3 times in there. None of those hits registered at all. So I was like, fuck, how laggy are these guys? So I take some distance, I try to run away. Try to see if the lag settles down a bit. And it does later on the fight. It's not really, in the end of the fight, it's really solid connection. So sometimes this happens in the very beginning of the invasions. Your opponent might be very laggy, but it kind of settles down a bit while the invasion goes on. So I try to get my distance for a bit. Try to examine the situation a bit, how laggy the host is. Sometimes the lag just doesn't go away and you're shit out of luck in that then. But yeah. And there, the easiest way to guard break someone with a slow weapon, just hit their shield a couple of times, because they cannot do jack shit. They cannot recover in time to get their own hits to land, and to be frank, I don't expect them to set up parry either. Sorry, I'm a little bit mean, but yeah, it's just usually the case. People don't like the setup parry in this game too much, which is weird. But yeah, I took my chances in there. Got a little bit of backstabbed in there as well. So yeah, I couldn't remember this fight too well. What happened here? Oh yeah. could have reposted this guy 2 times, but I just kept on spamming TR1 because of those high skill strats. Oh man. But it's okay, it's okay. We get some flashy shit done at times on this video as well. But there's no wrong on R1 spamming sometimes, I guess. So yeah, here I take some distance. I'm out of Estus, so I want to take the Phantom out. So I get some more time with the host. I need some private time with the host. Phantom really wants to take me down before this, I don't know what that enemy is called, Grave Warden or something. Anyways, the Phantom dies, and now it's my time to rock and roll. Here we go, here we go. Now we get some Hornet candy in there. And the host is in really tight spot in here now. And I'm just waiting for him to attack because he's one-handing his Spy Hunter, which is like the easiest thing to parry like ever. And I get those 3 parries in there. And chase him down a bit. At this point, even though I haven't even healed, I know that the match is already mine, because I can parry that weapon very well, and the host hasn't really shown any signs that he has another weapon in there. And he's kind of surrounded by enemies as well, so now it's like the odds are against him so badly that I just knew that he cannot turn this around at this point. If he would have, I would have been very surprised, but spoilers, he didn't. So here he doesn't any swing anymore, so I just go for my kick tactics, just get that shield out of the way. And oh man, poor host, what can I say? I wonder what this fight was. I can't really remember too well. I think this guy wanted to summon help as soon as he saw that I entered the world, but I don't think he. Yeah, he got actually that Sunbro in there. Never mind. So once again, I take some of that sweet distance in there, which I like to do when I get like 2v1 or 3v1. I try to find a good spot to fight them, preferably with some enemies around, so I can divide their attention. But they don't really want to take the bait. They stay in there, hang out in there a bit. But I don't want to get into a tight space against 2 people, so I want to get them out one by one. Here the host gets pretty good damage on me. He attacks on the perfect time to hit me on my wake up from the riposte animation, which is unfortunate because I would have had to parry that guy from the riposte. But yeah, sometimes the timing just isn't there, and it's a bummer. Here to bait them in a bit, just keep my distance, and the Sunbro actually comes to me. He wants to challenge me. Here, since I parried him once, as you can see, he's a little bit more careful about his attacks. He uses jumping attack, which can be parried. Which can't be parried, I'm sorry. And the Sunbro does a little bit of surprising decision here in the end. Like, he just keeps on attacking like crazy, and I got caught a little bit off guard here. And he gets a good chunk of damage on me there, but yeah, he was way too low on health, so I easily finished him off. And then it's time to find the host again. And there he is. What a cutie. Couple of roll catches in there for 300 damage. Oh god. It doesn't even feel, the damage doesn't even feel that low when I'm actually fighting sometimes, but like looking at this footage later on and realizing how little the damage actually is just makes me cringe. It's so fucking bad. But I'm actually making a little bit more competent PvP build right now. It's gonna be either strength or quality, so that should be a little bit better, which I can actually take to fight clubs and such, and have a little bit more better success. Like, I can hold my own usually, but it's just like the damage is just not cutting it. It's way too much of a difference against my opponents usually. So it makes things a little bit tricky. So here the host buffs 2 times, probably on accident. I don't think he actually planned that. And I think there's a weird moment here. Yeah, the host just stands there. I don't know what is he thinking. Did his controller like unblock or something, but he just stood there for a while. But he's still fighting, He's not out of the game yet. I try to Lloyd's him, or Undead Hunter Charm him. I'm sorry, I can never get used to that name. It used to be called the Lloyd's Talisman in the previous games, but right now it's called Undead... Yeah, that's what it's called. Undead Hunter Charm, so yeah. Here I was kinda hoping that he would do the obvious rolling attack in and poke me with the cut hearts, but nah, no dice. I did get my parry swagness in there. So this is one of those fights again that, like, just being patient, taking those guaranteed little chip damages here and there, just like does a ton. And here the host gets some kind of rage against the chairs, and he decides to destroy all of them. I think he tries to like message the other Red Phantom, please help me and kill this dude. But no, the other Red Phantom is here for some entertainment. He's gonna watch us duel it off, and yeah. Here I think I go for like a short trade in the end here, a little bit messy. Yeah. A little bit messy ending in there, but it's okay, I guess. It's okay. We take those. We take those. Here, you can see some kind of damage difference. This guy has some damage packed in there. Like, those are the same weapon class as I'm using, the scimitar, but it's kind of like a dual version. And just check out the damage this guy does to me soon. Like, it's wow. I have seen other weapons do like a lot of damage as well, but I never saw this type of weapons do this much damage ever, so this guy has definitely taken his protein shakes. I think it's really soon. Here. Wow! That was one combo which I couldn't escape, and it was clearly over 1000 damage, probably 1100 or something. And here I'm just freaking out, what the fuck I'm gonna do now? And I'm not gonna do much. GG, GG. Sometimes you get these fights where you just absolutely blow up. You just blow up. There's nothing else you can add to that. But yeah, it happens sometimes. Okay, here I invade these guys that are trying to be very clever, and they're using the chameleon form, trying to surprise me in there, but your gimmicks don't work on me. And I take a little bit of a side thorn in there and try to sneak up on them, but I couldn't get a good opportunity in there. So here we have this Artorias dude, getting good pokes to his ass, but unfortunately the magic box is also chasing me, so I have to be careful about that one. And the Hollow Suicide Squad is trying to help me in there with poor success. As always here I try to get a little bit better positioning somehow, but it's not really working on me, or working too well for me. Finally I get my heal out. Sorry, my tongue is crazy today again. And sure, set up parry. Get the Hornet reposed and finish off the Phantom there and then. And then we only have the host, which is really close to killing me there. It comes really close. But I'm still alive. But ooh, that hyper armor. I really like... I don't want to start the poise discussion. I just really don't. But I have to say this. Some of these weapons don't have anything if regular poise comes back. They don't have anything. Because the hyper armor is their main feat at the moment. But if poise comes back in the same form as Dark Souls 1 had, it's just gonna fucking shit on some of the weapons. Like completely. But enough about that. I think the poise discussion has been blown out of proportion, and we just have to wait what From Software does with it. And I'm just gonna wait until that happens, while we see something solid on the case before I... And there! That was actually either a very lucky accident on his part or a super smart move. He actually turned around when he saw he was getting parried and prevented getting parried in there. That was really smooth. But I don't know if he made that by accident or by purpose, but yeah, he gets me down in there. He gets me down. He poises through my kick with the hyper armor, and I hit those 2 hits and die. Okay, here is the last fight of today's session, and this is one of those fights that some people might see as a boring one, because like, yeah, it's just the host, he's really laggy for one, and he just keeps on healing. Only thing that keeps him alive is that he has a lot of Estus left. So yeah, it takes some time to take him down, but I still want to show this one as well, because I want to show all the fights from the session, and also it demonstrates again pretty well what patience can get you to. He has a lot of health, like a shit ton of health, and I'm doing like 500 damage with my Hornet stabs. So I guess he's using the protection ring or something against the backstabs. Or he's just a super high level or something, but he's just taking no damage of it at all. So here I take my sweet time, just dodge all of his attacks, poke here and there so to get some damage in. I do a lot of backstabs, I think 3 or 4 in this fight against the host, but yeah, it's not doing a lot of damage, so. Spear is a useful tool to have, actually. Like, it can beat the range of almost anything, almost everything in this game. So it gives you options against weapons like these. You can actually outrage them and not it hits the face if you want to deal some safe damage. Hyper armor is not that big of a deal then. And this really bugs me, like, usually that timing of the Lloyds that I threw there actually works and gets them Lloyds from the wake up, but this host just doesn't give a fuck. He just walks through the Lloyds smoke and doesn't get the Lloyds effect on. It's so frustrating. Look at that damage, wow. 2 hits, 2 hits. I'm not too worried, I have some Estus left in there, I just have to time it right. It's a slow weapon, I can roll it very much on reaction, even though the host is a little bit laggy at times. But at this point the lag has already calmed down a bit, so I can play a little bit more surely with my timings. But in the beginning of the fight the lag was really bad. I haven't really counted the Estus that this guy has used, but it's a lot during this fight. He uses it all, I think. And it's okay, it's fine. I'm not complaining about anything. I really don't. I have no problems with anything. I just like, I comment on things, but I really don't have problems. I don't have problems with gank. I don't have problems with poise missing. I don't have problems with fucking anything. Some things are unbalanced, but yeah, we all have the same game in our hands, so if you want to use those unbalanced things, just do, instead of like complaining about it. Well, I guess some complaining is good as well, because then they can patch some broken things and such, but you get what I mean. So yeah, here I took some distance because he summoned help, and host dies to the suicide squad. And that's the last fight of the evening. Thank you so much for watching, ladies and gentlemen. Take care.